Well, here's what we do know is that Steve Bannon, at least for the moment, his senior advisor, I guess the most conservative of his advisors, is staying at least for now, but in a diminished role. I mean, the real power center in the Trump administration right now is Jared Kushner, who his son-in-law, who's a Democrat, and Gary Cohn, the head of the NEC, who's also a Democrat, which is very interesting given given the platform that Donald Trump ran on. Now, here's the sort of wild card in all this. Where does Reince Priebus, the former head of the RNC, where does he sit? Does he remain as chief of staff? And all I can tell you is this, is that Reince Priebus, from what I understand from sources inside the White House, is fighting for his job. Does that mean he won't stay in that job? I can't say they're going to boot him out. We don't know. Donald Trump is the type of guy that changes his mind, you know, hour by hour, maybe minute by minute. But clearly, Trump has gone around and asked people about whether they think Reince Priebus is doing a good enough job. And let me just say one other thing. He has a sort of short list of replacements. At the top of that short list is Gary Cohn. Again, the former president from Goldman Sachs and now head of the NEC, the National Economic Council. Also on that list is Kevin McCarthy, the Republican congressman, and a few other people. And I think the best we could say about Priebus is that, you know, he's got to fight for his job. I mean, I can't tell you that he's going tomorrow, but clearly the word is out there, and the word is being put out there, you know, not by, you know, just sort of random people inside the White House. It's being put out by Trump himself. He is personally asking people, do you think Reince Priebus is doing good enough job? And he was asking them even before the health care debacle, which a lot of people said was Priebus's fault. Remember, he was sort of ushering it through Congress with the help of Paul Ryan, who's a very close associate of Priebus. They both come from Wisconsin. So that's the state of play. I mean, and I will say this. There's an interesting story in the New York Times today where Trump asked both Jared Kushner and Steve Bannon to sit down and work things out. It just kind of shows you the naivety of the president on political matters, because you can't work out the vast ideological differences between Steve Bannon, an economic nationalist, a guy that believes in tax cuts and closing the border, and Jared Kushner, who's essentially, you know, a moderate to liberal Democrat. It's just fascinating watching the ideological struggle of this administration.
Your sources are telling you there is going to be a shakeup. It might not be exactly the form where the two key people go, but something's going to happen.
Here's what my sources are saying, Neil, and we always say this is what they're saying, and
right.
You just got to watch it, okay? But here's the thing, that Reince Priebus is fighting for his job, that Jared Kushner is now the power center, that Steve Bannon probably will remain, but clearly in a much more diminished role. And that's what we have right now.